Hey, this is Marcus Washington, MTC Media. So earlier this week, there was an article that was talking about tennis and how some of the old traditions of tennis basically was dead now. And Ben Shelton was quoted in the article talking about, people want to see emotion and people want to see these other things. And it might not be traditional, so to speak, but it's more representative of today's tennis players. I've also read a few things that a lot of this is born from college tennis, which tends to be a lot more enthusiastic, where every point counts, so on and so forth. And you see more tennis tournaments be a little bit lax on the noise, in between matches and stuff. They're playing music. It just things that you didn't see when I was growing up with tennis. And, that's fine. A lot of sports have changed. But what has not changed is how people react when they lose to someone that they shouldn't lose to. And Jelena Ostapenko showed it today with Taylor Townsend. Afterwards, Ostapenko said that Townsend didn't have any class, that she has no education. And this was over not apologizing for a net cord. Yes, the same thing that happened with Sabalenka earlier this year. Net cord seemed to be the breaking point for some people here. And it just goes to show you that sometimes the biggest sin here is losing. It wasn't the net cord that set Ostapenko off. It was the idea that she felt like she lost to someone who should be inferior to her, which is what she thinks of Taylor Townsend. If you look at the records, obviously Townsend was not supposed to win that match. Her specialty is doubles. And so I can understand Ostapenko's disappointment. But this idea that everyone flies off the handle and tells people how they should win after they've lost, you know what I mean? You're telling someone else how they should win because you're mad because you lost. That stuff's got to stop. It just seems so silly. Let's also not act like these sort of things are just cropping up with today's generation. Because I come from a generation that saw guys like Ilie Nastase, how John McEnroe was, how Jimmy Connors was during tennis matches. Let's not act like it's been all of this tradition and these little things that people associate with tennis, because tennis was nasty back then at times. I would say where it lost some of the nastiness was really during the era with like Agassi and Courier and Chang and Lindell, Stefan Edberg, those type of guys. They kind of lost it. I thought that tennis kind of lost that edge then. You saw some on the women's side where there were some exchanges or people try to manufacture good versus evil type of things. But for the most part, I thought it had calmed down. But boy, it seems like it has ratcheted back up. There are several examples. There was an exchange during U.S. Open qualifying between a couple of opponents after the second set, I believe. Is when the exchange happened that was crazy heated. And the match wasn't even over yet. So we're seeing it, and the emotions are flying. Do I have a problem with it? No. I think when we start doing the insults, the no education, you're taking it way, way, way too far. Are there going to be exchanges between, chair umpires, players and stuff? I mean, that's as old as tennis. But there is sort of some guidelines that even come when those things happen. So this is Marcus Washington, MTC Media.